Good morning, everybody. Hi.
There you are.
Okay, so formal introductions. Hello, everyone. So this webinar is focusing on the how and the what. So we all know that we're getting at least an email a week from every single business under the sun, like balloons are us. Thank you. I love that you care about my family and you're reminding me to wash my hands, but not necessary for my customer loyalty. So we're all kind of figuring out what's appropriate, what to say, when to send it, what as an insurance agent is your role during this COVID crisis, what's like just figuring out all that messaging and then the exact how to say it. So that's what we have here. We have Wealth Management in a Box. Kelly Carter's going to take it away first, as well as Creative One, Productive Life, a whole bunch of people on this webinar here to help you understand what to say and what to do during this crisis. So thank you, everybody.
I think that's my cue, Megan. Thank you. Good morning, Kelly Carter with Wealth Management in a Box. Hope everybody's doing well and staying safe. So, one of the things that has come up over the last month or so as we worked with Kathy and Megan and Joe with the ASNOA University Life Training, as things progressed in our current situation, it became evident that obviously there's a lot of fear and panic, not only on the health side, but also on the financial side, on the risk management side. Lots of things happening in our business, fee compressions, things with businesses, scaling down. We've talked to many of you about what's going on. So the key was how to communicate with your clients during this difficult time. And, on the financial side, on the risk management side, we're kind of on the front lines in the sense that, we manage about $600 million in assets. Clients are concerned. So, we're dealing with these calls and communicating and being proactive. So, and it translates over to what you guys are doing. So in our conversations, we figured let's kind of collaborate and give you some opportunities to discuss this. And, at the end of the day, one of the biggest things that we have to understand is, even though we're in the middle of a difficult crisis, we still have opportunities, and that opportunity is to help our clients to be that voice of reason and to continue to stay in business, to find a way to thrive in our practices. And I can tell you right now, we are deemed essential here in California. We are in our offices taking calls every day, and we've had an influx of new business referrals because we're taking those calls. And so there is opportunity, and we want to be cognizant of what's going on, but we also need to say, look, business is going to come back and we are going to get through this and things are going to go even better. So at the end of the day, when you talk about the volatile few weeks and months through January till now, in the last 3 months, we have had a 23% drop in the Dow Jones. Now we're down another 3.3 today. So we're down over 25%. And you may not wonder or think it doesn't apply to you or your clients, but it does, because your clients, your business owners, your homeowners, all of the clients that you guys insure are still having these issues. And the three key questions are: how much further is this market going to drop? What can I do to protect my assets and my family? And more importantly, the biggest question, if you know this is what they're thinking and you understand it, you're going to be so far ahead of the curve as things come out the other side. Am I, or are we going to be okay? Most firms in our space, most of the clients we see coming in, referrals, new people that we're talking to, they haven't heard from their brokers. They haven't heard from their quote unquote advisors. And, they're down in some cases 20, 30%, and they just want to know that somebody's listening. So part of that communication and crisis management, the essential communications, especially now, is number one, as Noah did it, we've done it. Put your employees and your well-being above all else. Make sure that you take care of your house first. But then you have to communicate with your clients promptly, clearly, and transparently. And what does that mean? That means don't hide, don't sit around thinking you have nothing to do. These people are home. Even if they're working from home, they still want to hear from you. So this is a great opportunity to reconnect and, talk to yourself, talk to your firm, talk to your clients, keeping those expenses in check and having backups for the budget deficits. Prepare for the unexpected. It's probably going to get worse before it gets better. But the key, number 5, is follow up, follow up, follow up. The more you communicate, the better the relationship you're going to develop with the clients you already have, and it will drive new advocates or referral-based clients that we're going to talk about. And the key is we've been doing this. I've been doing this for 30 years. Steve's been doing it, as long, if not more. But our goal is to be here with you. And Wealth Management in a Box was built to be a supportive add-on for your business. One of the concerns that we're hearing and seeing from a lot of people is that if you're a monoline firm or you're specifically focused in one area and that area of your business is down, you have no alternatives. You have no other revenue sources. So Wealth in a Box was built to provide that additional revenue source. We are your team, right, Steve? I mean, that's kind of the conversation that you're having with the ASNOA affiliates.
Absolutely. And Wealth Management in a Box was not designed to add more work for you. It was actually designed, to give you added value for your clients and to support your clients. So as Kelly said, we're going to teach you how to fish, all right, and have been, and we're going to do all the heavy lifting, and we'll get involved in that later on.
And again, those marketing tools do uncover opportunities. With every problem or crisis, there is an opportunity, and the opportunity is to reinforce your value to your clients. Again, we've had this conversation over the last year with all of the affiliates. Your value, you protect their biggest assets, their homes, their cars. Now, we're going to talk about life insurance here in a few minutes, because what we're seeing is a huge uptick in this opportunity. So this was a headline from 2 days ago. Insurance agencies are seeing a spike in life insurance purchases amid this COVID-19 concern. And this goes back to what Joe had started back in February, or back in early March with the ASNOA University. More than 1/3 of people have not bought life insurance because they don't know how much or what type to buy. Now, all of a sudden, it's front and center again. Hey, I probably need to get this done. And with that said, we start looking at the spectrum. And for those of you that did the class with Kathy last month, you remember seeing this. And when we move from left to right, pre-retirement to post-retirement, there are different needs for that life insurance along the way. And helping your clients understand their needs today and tomorrow and staying within their budget is the primary goal. Again, building value and reinforcing what you can bring to them. They're facing several financial risks before retirement. Right now, we're in the middle of one of the worst we've seen. I've been doing this 30 years, and the difference between here and 2008, so if you want some good news, this is not a liquidity crisis. This was not caused by a failed market. This was caused by an outside force that nobody could see. And the current situation is a man-made recession where we've never been here before. So, and we're going to talk about that afterwards. But, when you look at term versus permanent, all the things that we're going to talk about today with this, we're going to introduce, and we're going to bring on Dana here in a minute, the Protective Life Velocity Term Life Program. So not being able to see clients face to face right now has created a huge challenge. This Protective Velocity Program is an end-to-end suite of digital capabilities to speed up production and deliver policies, and ultimately make the buying and placing for that term insurance, that first need that we're going to talk about, faster and easier to continue to have that conversation. So as we get into this, we were going to introduce this anyway in another week or two, but we thought it was kind of perfect timing to just let's bring Dana in and talk about this program, because this is another opportunity for you to have a new conversation with your clients. So with that said, Kathy, I think we can turn this over to Dana.
All righty, Dana, you are up.
Okay, well, thank you for your time today. Today we're going to talk about the Velocity program and what you'll see in just a second.
Yeah. There we go.
Good.
Very good.
Perfect. Actually, to me, these icons look like Dunkin' Donuts. I'm really Jonesins on missing Dunkin' Donuts right now. We can do drive-through in Kentucky, but right now I just want to point out, this is kind of a nice screen that just basically points out that no longer is, just being in the high-speed world, no longer is goods and services considered a bonus or nice to have. It's an expectation. And just with the whole COVID-19 thing that's out there right now, we've seen an influx of people needing something that we have. So, this I think will help you today. We're going to talk about our Velocity program, which is basically our end-to-end capability for drop ticket. So during our course of time, we're going to talk about our Easy App drop ticket platform, our TeleLife, what that means, our Plus underwriting solutions platform, which is accelerated underwriting, our e-signature process, and our electronic policy delivery. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about today. So what we found in time, now I've been with the company over 11 years, and what we found is when people submit applications, we find a lot of the times they're not in good order. So it was, I think the average was about 66% of applications were not in good order. So they felt that when you do e-processes, it helps get the throughput to a much higher percent. I think it was like 94% of accuracy. So it's just kind of some things of why we would do that. So first of all, let me just kind of address what do we have available on our Easy App platform. The answer is very simple. We can actually do all of our products through our Easy App platform. Now, term, particularly our custom choice and our classic choice, those are the ones that we see the biggest percentage go through, but we can also do that through permanent applications as well, our advantage choice and our index choice products that are available. So what that helps with by doing these drop ticket processes and we answering the questions and things like that, it basically reduces our cycle time up to about 14 days. And also it gives us a much better throughput as having the applications be in good order. Okay, that's something that we have to, there's less time having to deal with that. So a couple of things that we can do. So this is how it works for us. The financial professionals will drop a ticket on our website, or we'll talk about this in a few minutes, the Easy App worksheet, which is a 2-page paper application that just the client will sign. You go, you submit the ticket to us. We will turn around and do the TeleLife interview. Now, so a couple of things of the TeleLife interview. Those are the medical questions that we ask. The TeleLife interview is completed by a protective employee. So what that helps with, a lot of times other carriers will actually do the TeleLife interview, but they're not able to customize the questioning. So by us having our employees complete it, if there's like a certain way we need to change the questioning, or if we need to tweak it just depending on the times that we're in right now, we might have to add some additional questioning. We're able to do that much faster by using our own people. Our TeleLife team will schedule the exam if one is needed. They will also order physician statements or any records that we'll need. And then they also will request additional information based on how that interview is completed. All right, so one of the benefits I like that I think is definitely a benefit that Protective has that a lot of other carriers do not have is that when the ticket is dropped, you don't have to wait for a Protective employee to call the client. We have an 800 number that you could turn around while you're already at the client's home, or if you are just with the client talking to them on the phone, you can always give them the 800 number. They have a policy number that they're given, and they can actually complete that phone interview with just it's about 18 to 20 minute phone interview that we go and ask the medical questions. We will go and say, all right, we need to have doctor's information and any medicines that they're on. And we can get that conducted and done right away. So as soon as you drop a ticket, you can call us right away, get it done. If for some reason you don't call us, we will call you within 24 hours. It's a little bit longer if you're doing a paper Easy App worksheet, just because we have to data enter that particular piece of information. So we're looking more about 48 hours for that. So then we will conduct the phone interview. Now, a couple of things. Now, I've been doing this a long time. We gave the velocity, the Easy App process, the TeleLife process, all those nice little names that we've given it. We packaged this up about a year ago, and we decided to call it the Velocity Program. So when they stepped this program up, they added some nice things that that we didn't have before, one of which is text message reminders. I don't know if you guys are like this, but I certainly am. I do not answer my phone. I am a telemarketer's nightmare. So text message reminders allows us to basically reach out to basically, which you can opt out. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to. But we can text message appointments. We can go and just send reminders saying, hey, this is where your application's at. This is when your interview is, or your medical exam is scheduled if one is needed. Great source. In the future, we look to actually change this a little bit to the point where we need to add, if there's a certain question that was left off the application, we're looking in the future to basically have the ability to text if it's opted in, to ask the question of, did you mean to say yes for replacement? If so, what company are we replacing? Something simple like that to keep that application moving. Again, I already talked about the direct transfer. We have the ability to complete the phone interview right away. Now, the TeleLife Easy App worksheet, they updated about 1.5 years ago. It's a 2-page worksheet, and I'll pull that up towards the end of my portion so you guys can see what it looks like. Very simple. You fill it out, you sign it. The client doesn't have to. We will get the signatures, either e-signed or we'll do voice signature, okay, which leads me to the next thing. Voice signature is a capability that we have. We find that the throughput of applications from end to end all the way to policy delivery, that 94% of eligible customers who voice sign their applications, they go all the way through. And it also saves us a lot of time. It's almost closer to about 3 business days it saves, as opposed to waiting for an e-signature from a client, which we can still do. But voice signature has really added the capability of moving forward quickly. All right, so the Protective Life Underwriting Solutions platform, that's our accelerated underwriting. That is only available for term products. That'll be our classic choice and our custom choice. And what that basically means is it's the ability to do fluidless underwriting. Now, I included in an email to you all that will have actually the criteria for the Plus program. I do want to say one thing to you. If they fit that criteria, great. It'll just speed up the process. In most situations, they can get in and out about 3 business days if they're able to go to this Plus program. I do want to tell you that there is a 1% holdback that we have because we're allowed to use our street products for our traditional paper application. We've not done any price adjustments for our term products by using this Plus program. So we have a 1% holdback that even if they fit the criteria of this program, it's just to make sure that we're doing everything that we need to do to make sure that we're underwriting it appropriately, okay? So there is a 1% holdback. How I've been doing this a long time, I really don't go and say, you will go through the Plus program. I like it to be a nice surprise when they go through it. So just know it's just my comfort level. I don't sell it up front and say, you will go through this Plus program. I just know that that's something that if you sell it on the back end as surprise you got through it, it's a much better outcome, okay? And of course, it improves cycle time for us. Now for e-signature, like I said, we have the ability to e-sign as well. If they are not able to do voice signature, we can take Adobe, DocuSign, eSign Live, and paperless solutions. Those are the ones that we do. It doesn't mean that we can't take others. It's just these are ones that are automatically approved and have been vetted. Electronic policy delivery, this is huge, especially right now. We have the ability to deliver your policies to the client without you having to meet with your client. This is a process that we've had for a very long time, but over the years, there's been greater adoption. This is something, though, now has just taken off like lightning speed. So by doing the electronic policy delivery, it basically shaves 5 days off from issue. And also for us to get delivery requirements back and all that good stuff. This is, they can review their policy anytime, the clients can. So once we hit issue and it generates the policy, basically you get an email from saying, hey, your EPD policy is ready. Oh, Mr. Agent, please make sure, look it over. Does it look good? Is this what you were hoping for? And then once the agent signs off, then the clients will get an email saying, hey, your policy's here, ready to go, and then they can e-sign and they have a copy of their policy. it's just going to make it that much faster for you to deliver a policy to a client. And most importantly, with COVID-19 going on right now, and there's just some apprehension of agents and clients meeting together, this is an opportunity where you don't have to meet with them face to face. All right. So just some things about the Easy App drop ticket platform. That's our velocity. Let me back up a second. So right now, we can take, so you don't go directly to My Protective. You can do that, but most of the time when you're dropping a ticket, you're doing it off iPipeline. This all dials into our back-end process of TeleLife Easy App. So everything I shared with you, you guys all have full access for. You'll have, so no matter which place you drop it, it's coming into the system. So just some things on that. The Easy App worksheet I wanted to pull up for you real quick. Let me grab this if I can pull it up here. Yes, 1 second. I'm just going to switch my screens here. All right. This is how simple it looks. I wanted to share it with you if I can. So let me drop it right here. All right, so it's really 4 pages, but the first page is just an instructional sheet. The second page is just what you fill in, the client's information, your driver's license, all the normal stuff you do on an application. It's just very simplified because it's not asking any medical questions. We're doing that piece, so we're doing the heavy lifting on that. Then it'll ask you if you're replacing, owner information, and any special remarks. Like if you need beneficiary, a little more detail about beneficiary, or if you need to backdate to save age, you put that on the special remarks and we will note that in the file and we'll make sure that that's handled. And then the last page of the application is the agent attestation. So you can always email or fax this. You don't have to necessarily, if you're an agent that's old school, not 100% comfortable doing the online system, you can use the system. And if you're not licensed yet, you can still do this. The one thing that we ask is just that your brokerage general agency, Creative One, is actually on there, which they'll deal with that. But you can email it to easyapp@protective.com, and then we will go and upload it and schedule the interview with the client. Okay. So I wanted to make sure you saw that. And that's pretty much it. I didn't want to take a lot of time today. I wanted to kind of open it up with any questions you might have for me about the system. This is a system Protective's had for years. We just added, and we keep adding different technology to make it simpler, faster for the agent and also the client. All right, that's all I have. I'll turn it back over to Kelly, I believe.
Yeah, hi, hey Dana, thank you so much. I think that was phenomenal. I'm excited about this opportunity. Joyce, do you want to jump in there regarding where we would find those links and the process, et cetera?
Yeah, so as far as the process, Dana said this is all compatible to what we use here at Creative One. So as you are coming on board with us to do the life insurance, as some of you have already gone through the process, we get you contracted with Protective, and that's a pretty easy process. I help you with that part of it, getting you set up in their system, getting an agent number assigned. And then once we have that accomplished, we make sure that we have you set up in the Creative One agent portal. And that's going to give you access to do that application online, just like Dana went through the iPipeline. So for those of you that haven't got set up, I try to work with everyone and try to do as much as we can up front. But if we haven't gotten you set up, please send me an email or give me a call so we can get that done, so we can help you get onto the agent portal to do the easy process with Protective. So it's pretty easy. Again, like I said, I'll help you go through the steps and make sure that you're logged in.
Perfect. And again, we'll have that. If you would need information on that, if you don't have Joyce's contact info, we'll make sure to send that out to you. But again, it's pretty easy. And again, it's a great starting point. It's a great conversation piece. But for those clients where, right now we need some coverage or term insurance, and Protective being a top rated carrier, their rates are super competitive. But this process makes it even easier for you to provide that value to your clients right now, especially with everything else that's going on. So Dana, I appreciate that. If there's anything else you need, questions, we'll follow up on that.
Okay, Kelly, you want to take back over control, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All
We
righty.
got a couple things that we'll finish here.
And I did
There
chat
we
in
go.
that I'll send those materials out to everybody after today's session as well.
Yeah, we've got all
Good
the
thing of the
sheets
referencing.
that you've got, right, Kathy? You've got all the sheets to send out on that program.
Yes, we do.
Perfect. So bringing it back all the way, full circle here, talking about, sales opportunities. This is another kind of a touch point, but what we want to do now is drive in a little bit into the actual communication pieces that we have put together. So for those of you that are already participating in the Wealth in a Box program, you're going to see some familiar things. These are some of the tools that have already gone out or are being implemented in the ongoing marketing campaign. So part of what Wealth Management in a Box was built around was creating an introduction, letting clients know that you now have this full service division, which includes a financial services platform. And again, I think Steve mentioned it, and we want to make sure you understand there is not a lot of additional added work for you. You don't have to become an expert in the planning platform. We work for you. We went in going through this with Joe and Ray when we started over. It's been almost 2 years now. We vetted to get into the program and build this platform. We work for you. Your clients are your clients. Our job is to enhance that relationship, to let them know you're there for them and provide other tools. And right now, this is a perfect time to either reintroduce it to those clients that maybe missed it during the busy start of the rollout in December, January. But also for those of you that aren't in it, this is a great opportunity to start communicating. Steve, anything you want to add there as we get into this?
No, and most of the folks that are on the webinar this morning, I've had numerous conversations giving them ideas. This is a perfect opportunity to kind of regroup with your folks, to reestablish yourselves, and also to redo some things. An excellent opportunity to pick up the phone and do a review, see how they're doing, and then segue into, if you will, the opportunity that you bring to them with a full financial planning division that can take a look at what's going on with their assets and offer some help. We've got some slides coming up, the fact finder, which we'll get a little bit more involved with.
Yeah, so for those of you that have seen this before, this was kind of the introduction campaign. You'll notice everything is branded for each of your agencies with Wealth Management in a Box. And it's designed to just reintroduce these services. And again, given the nature of the financial crisis and the things that are going on, clients are scared. They're looking for direction. They're looking for somebody to kind of tell them, again, am I going to be okay? And that's what this does. So at the end of the day, this is the intro email campaign that would go out. But we believe right now that we want to integrate kind of a comprehensive reintroduction, but using the Greet Life head on. And we think, it's kind of fits the purpose right now of, hey, look, things are happening, life changes. There are things that we can control and things that we cannot control. And this is a perfect time to reintroduce this piece. You'll notice it is branded for each of your agencies in conjunction with Wealth in a Box. But what that piece does is it talks about all of the life changes that happen along the way. And again, couldn't be more fitting from a time right now. Employment changes. What do you think's going on with those people that have been furloughed? They need some help, some guidance. Transitional planning. This is what it is. It's about reintroducing that, and how do we help you put that conversation around it? The second piece, which is something that we had talked about several months ago, is fully operational. And at the end of the day, we call it 9 to know. And we're working on finalization on this, but you can use it as a one-off for clients after you've had a conversation with them. But this 9 to know is an exclusive resource that allows a digital conversation around the 7 questions that clients are asking. Right? I think number 1 is a big one. Where am I headed? What's going on with my retirement, my 401k? Number 4, how can my situation change during challenging economic times? What happens if I die too soon or live too long? Again, all of these wrap around the conversations and the things and questions that people are asking. So for you to be able to add a value conversation around this and give them some comfort of knowing, hey, this is probably the best time to do the planning, because when things are really, really good, people put it aside and go, it'll be okay. Now they're looking at it going, I better get a handle on this. I better find somebody who can help me, somebody who understands my entire picture. And again, we believe that in the property and casualty space, at the ASNOA affiliates, you guys have a very unique value platform. And the relationship that most of you have with your clients is impressive, because at the end of the day, these clients trust you. So let's leverage that value and that integrity of your relationship to give your clients a better solution. And think of it this way: would you want this same process for your mom, for your dad, for your brother, your uncle, your cousin? So again, it's the same opportunity to use that online portal. It takes about, I'd say, what, Lisa, 5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes.
If that. Yep, 9 simple prompts.
And I'll show you those in a second. But it was designed to be able to let them put in very generic details. The document comes back to us, and then we're able to create a report and get on the phone with your client and say, hey, let's look at the holes. Where are you? What are you trying to do? What's your goals? And our job is to be that extension of your team. I think, Steve, that's the thing we're trying to really emphasize here. Use the team that we have in place that's been doing this for 30 years to be an extension of you.
Oh, absolutely. And there's some of you on this call that have used this fact finder, have used this program or this process. Just yesterday, I had an extensive conversation with Eric Ash in terms of being able to take a look at this. I sent them over one that we used for one of our clients, and it was an eye-opener for him and his staff. He showed his staff the results of them taking 10 minutes to fill it out, but more importantly, all right, he saw the benefit now of being able to pick up the phone, talk to people, and say, listen, we can help you. You're probably concerned about your assets. You're concerned about your retirement needs. And with that, we have a tool to help you fill it out, send it back. And, you know, it comes into Kelly and I, and we put that plan together. But more importantly, when we're ready to present it to the client, we're on the phone with you. Okay, we're walking it through. I know Gary Price has used this very effectively in his practice over the past several months as well.
Well, and again, we've been doing this digital kind of presentation since early January with Terry Garner, Gary Price, and several others. I can tell you that, you know, we did some marketing for Terry in Ohio, and the numbers are phenomenal. Eric's on here as well. Eric can tell you that we have been very successful in communicating, having that client sitting there with you and having us on the other end of the phone, being your experts. I mean, we've been doing this a long time. So these processes are here, but you know, this is the kind of thing that your clients will go through. You'll see right here how easy this is to put in their names, their address. We don't need their address, their names, their date of birth, you know, things like that. So this is a very simple, easy way for you to provide a value for these clients and continue to expand on the service of being there when nobody else is. So again, that's how the conversation starts. And when we get down to it, once you get into that model, then we move to the communication, right? This is the prospect email that we had sent over to Megan that we're working on combining with the Greet Life Head On and the 9 to Know. And we believe that it's designed, again, just not to scare them, but more importantly, to use the existing trust and goodwill that you already have. So all of these communication pieces, I know, Megan, you've got several that are generic to this as well. We can implement this with our Greet Life Head On.
I can't hear you.
Established for those clients, Megan, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So I'll
And
do
we're
a
going to
quick.
send all those out after.
Yeah. So once you're done, I'll do a quick summary of what's included and all of that.
Okay, perfect. More importantly, it's an opportunity to enhance your standard of care. You're probably saying, what is the standard of care? Well, if you think about this, and we're rolling this out in the next couple of months for the Wealth in a Box affiliates, you know, doctors and physicians have always had a standard of care in their practice. And we believe as risk managers, whether it be financial services, you know, property and casualty, whatever, That standard of care is designed to build your client's trust and for them to understand that there is a process. And, you know, it's going to navigate them through the different stages of their life, from buying a house to moving to a different house to adding cars, kids graduating high school, college, all the things that go together. That standard of care allows the conversation to be a reality check, but with a positive outlook, right? We want to make sure when you communicate, and we've been doing this for the last 40 days as this thing is ramped up. Hey, you're down, you're in the market, don't panic. Let's talk to our team of experts. Let's sit tight. This will come back. We will get through this. And I have a feeling that our indicators are that we may not have tested the low. So if you're in this market personally yourself and you want to talk to us, let us know. Don't panic. Okay. For your older clients, it's a wake up call to figure out, how do I make sure this doesn't happen again? But what they really want to know is, do I matter to you? Am I important enough that you know I'm down, I'm here, I'm home, I've got some time. This is a huge opportunity to extend that goodwill. So the other thing that's really bugging people and that should be brought to their attention is the national debt is at 23 trillion and growing. Now it's probably over 23 and a half now, but guess what? The government did what they had to do. But the question everybody should be asking is, long term, how are we going to pay for this? And the key issue here, and this is something we were doing with our firm and with Terry and some other folks, is looking at where are taxes headed in the future. So if we know, and I believe, and we believe that someday taxes are going to go up, probably sooner than later, then part of our marketing webinar opportunity is called Taxes Declassified. We are in the process of putting together a national, if you will, ASNOA affiliate webinar with an expert by the name of Marty Ruby to talk to your clients about not panicking, but more importantly, use this opportunity to start figuring out, how are you going to handle the tax crisis that's coming, and how do you get out of the way before things happen? So again, these are some of the tools that we're going to offer to be able to introduce your clients to your wealth management in a box platform. Steve, anything you want to add there?
No, I think it's important, and I think you emphasized it, Kelly. Savers have saved in IRAs and 401k plans. And people don't realize it, that there is a big debt in that, and that debt is to the IRS. So people have to be aware of this, especially now when they've lost some money in it. Hopefully it'll come back. But it's important for us and for you, okay, to be able to establish yourself as the go-to that can help them solve this particular problem or look a little bit more positively in the future. Because Kelly's right, we're going to be paying for this, all right? And that says taxes are going up, which is going to deplete their 401k plans or IRAs when they start pulling some dollars out. We've got the strategies in place. We're going to have this webinar to kind of introduce not only to you, but to your clients. And you might want to touch, Kelly, on the fact that we've got about 25,000 people that we have been communicating with over the past 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, and again, I think it's important. Is Eric Walmdorf on here? If Eric's on here, Kathy, can you unmute him for a second?
I sure can. Good morning, Eric. You have to unmute yourself, if you would, please, and then you'd be able to chat in. There you go.
Kathy and Kelly.
Hi.
Hey,
hi.
Eric. Hi. How are you? Not to pick on you, but Eric can tell you firsthand that the conversations that we've had with clients around this process has been almost one of gratitude, correct? Because of what we've been talking to them about and some of the opportunities that we've introduced to them through this process.
Yeah, for sure. And people, they embrace it to a point oftentimes where we put together a plan and they actually say, can we do more than that? Can we put more money into that product than what we're putting into it based off your plan? And our answer, of course, is sure you can. We're just trying to get a starting point and get you headed in the right direction. So.
Yeah, and a big part of this planning is done with life insurance, guys. That's why the life insurance conversation with Protective and with Symetra and some of the other companies that we work with It's designed to be able to provide a solution for these clients to help avoid the tax scenario, but also limit their risk moving forward and take advantage of these markets. So, Eric and Terry, I know Terry's down with a little bit of a flu bug, but at the end of the day, it's been very successful, and the clients are responding favorably because they appreciate the fact that you have reached out to them and that we are showing them something and we're trying to put them in a better position. So Eric, I appreciate that. I didn't mean to pick on you. Anything else?
Yeah, one thing that came to my mind, Kelly, too, was you mentioned the ability for you to present remotely with us in front of the client. And I'll be honest, we started working together, I don't know, sometimes last year, middle of the year, even early in the year. And I was a little skeptical because we deal with some folks in our area that are maybe a little backward when it comes to technology, but we haven't had any clients that have shown any hesitation to speaking with you or your team remotely whatsoever. They've all embraced it. They've understood the concepts. We haven't had any people struggling with the fact that you're in a different area than we're in. You're just kind of our expert in the back office, so we haven't had any pushback on that at all.
And Eric, I appreciate that because that's really, and I got to be honest with you, I have a feeling that our industry as a whole, but on the risk management side, whether it be PNC, financial services, may be going to that platform because people are starting to get used to it. So, not to say we were ahead of the curve on purpose, but we were testing it and it's worked very well. And Eric, as you said, we've had no pushback, but we are an extension of Garner Insurance, of Gephardt Insurance, of Gary Price, of Scotty Loveland. So don't let that be a distraction for you because we have proved the model prior to COVID-19 and moving forward. I think it's going to be the model for the next 6 to 12 months, if you want my honest opinion. So I appreciate that, Eric, and hopefully Terry's feeling better. So again, the bottom line, to sum it up, and we can take a few questions, is establishing your client process. I think this one, number 2, is critical. Initial segmentation. You know who your top clients are. You know who those people you should be reaching out to. Then we'll work with Megan and Lisa to integrate your email campaigns. Initial client conversations, more around kind of, are you going to be okay? We're here to help you. We're here to answer those questions. That's what we really believe is going to work with Wealth Management in a Box. And we've used this a lot in our practice over the years, but this drawing or this diagram on the right is pretty simple. Steve, you want to just give a 1-minute overview of what that really says?
Yeah, there are 2 things that we have been concentrating in our practice over the past several years, and it works, is we look at what matters to people, okay? Their family, their job, their recreation, what they've worked for to get to where they're going to get to in terms of retirement, and what we can control. We can't control this virus. We can't control the markets. So the controlling factor is to take a look at what matters. Controlling it is really putting a plan and a process together for them. That little overlapping portion, Kelly, if you want to put your mouse there, okay, that's where we come in, okay? We are the folks that take a look at these things. A plan is only as good as it is today. There's a 4-letter word, it's called life, all right? As it changes, we have to be able to change with it. So it's a process that we've been using. It's been very effective, and I gotta tell you, all right, the financial guy, the Edward Jones guy or gal, they don't use this. All they do is put the folks into a market position and let it ride, okay? This is gonna differentiate yourself from the guy down the street.
Absolutely. And again, not to pick on Eric and Terry, but at the end of the day, when I went out to Ohio to do some workshops with them, literally 8 feet next door to them is the Edward Jones office. And in the last couple of weeks, they've had 4 or 5 clients walk out of Edward Jones and walk right into Garner Insurance and say, hey, what do you guys do? Can you help me? So again, it's amazing to see what's really going on, but this is the thing. So when we focus where those 2 circles interact, those are the things that we can control, and we put it in place to support what matters to each client. So again, when you get into this, the client experience is designed to enhance your client relationship. Creative One is there to support our business model, all the back office. Anything we do for your clients is based on what's best for them and will enhance that relationship. And again, we're product agnostic. So, we love protective life for the term, and we do other cases for certain clients based on needs. Some carriers are better. And, Joyce, before we get off that topic, one thing I want to make sure you understand, be cognizant of your client. Your client. When I talk about that, I'm talking about from an underwriting standpoint. When we run illustrations or show clients our initial proposals, we generally run them at standard across the board, because if you run them at preferred plus and they come in at standard, they're not happy. So Joyce, you want to just reiterate kind of what we do on what we recommend on the underwriting classification up front?
Yeah, so thanks, Kelly. So on the underwriting, I would just say if you have any clients that that have a health history and just aren't really sure, should we do standard? Should we do preferred? I'm not sure. There's a health history. Are we even going to get standard? Or even worst case, are we even going to get an offer? Come to me with that up front. I don't like to have you do all the work and then we have to go back to the client and present a worst case scenario. So we have a general underwriting team that I can send information over to, and then we can come back with a tentative quote in the carrier that's going to be best for their situation. So it's always better to at least quote standard when you're just doing a general term or whatever the policy may be, but it's better to go back and say, oh, by the way, we just got an offer and it's for a better rate than what we quoted. So I want to help you set those right expectations when it comes to that underwriting. And that way we can just gather the information. We can do informal applications if we have to. So there's many ways that I can assist with the underwriting process.
Yep, and use that team. Joyce is phenomenal. She's had many years experience. She started when she was 12, so she's been doing it a long time. There's the face with the name, so you know kind of who you're working with. Steve and I have been together a long time in business. Steve actually sold Abe Lincoln his first life insurance policy, so he knows a lot about this industry.
I was waiting for that.
But at the end of the day, we've been very successful in building this. You've got Joyce Thomas on the life side. And we have Tom Mergen, who on the annuity side, which we're doing a lot of annuity planning right now for these clients because they're scared, they're concerned, they don't want to take the kind of risk anymore. So you've got a team, use that team. We are an extension of you. So again, I think it's important to understand that this is a value add and not an additional workload for you to have to take on something new and learn 30 years of experience. You've got it. As Eric said, we are part of that team. And we have had no pushback from the old farmers in Ohio to the sophisticated younger clients that they have. We've not had any pushback on this digital platform, which again, ironically, we've already been using and proved out long before this situation occurred. So again,
there are, and I'm sure you're going to mention it, Kelly, but there are a lot of other folks behind those four folks. Lisa, Stephanie, Shawnee, and the multitude of people that we have to back us up, if you will, as part of our team at the creative office as well.
Yeah. Not to mention we have the wonderful Kathy and Megan running the show. So
That's
at the end of the day, Kathy, is there any questions that we have that we want to address now? We got a few more minutes.
I also want to jump in here while you're gathering questions. Type it in through the chat, raise your hand, do anything like that. But I'm going to kind of wrap up what Kelly and Steve and Joyce and everyone here, thank you so much, what you guys have been talking about, back into the how you can communicate this. So if you don't mind, I'm going to just kind of jump into that so we still have time for questions in the end.
Yes, go for it.
All right. So to sum up, everybody, it's a quick and easy formula to be able to communicate this out via email or phone. And again, we're going to be sending out templates, examples that have the specific language that Kelly just showed you on the PowerPoints about financial planning with all that disclaimer language. But in the meantime, you can get started now with your script, with your ideas, writing it down, and it's just 4 quick steps and things that you have to do for every email or any script that you're writing while you're building this out. And like Kelly said, there's a team behind it. So if you're asking a question or starting to push this really hard or getting behind the marketing and you feel unsure that you can answer everything or provide the support, you have that entire team that Kelly just showed on the PowerPoints. So don't be afraid to push this hard with marketing because it's the right time. So the formula, number 1 thing that you want to do in any email or script is address the anxiety. Be genuine, acknowledge what's going on. You want to be relevant about COVID. You don't want to seem like you're just randomly sending out a sales tactic and being an insensitive robot. So you want to make sure that you're addressing the fact that this is happening, what it means, everyone's out there, we're in this together. The second thing to immediately address in any email or script is concerns about your the client's ability that you can deliver. So even though you might not be having your office open for visits, like Kelly said, everything can be done online in the virtual world. They've been doing it for a while now. There's no interruption in service. You'll still get the exact same analysis, financial services, support, advice, all of that. So address the fact that your delivery it's going to be exactly the same and personal and secure. Then the third thing that you focus on for any email or script is you ask a question. So you mentioned the problem that somebody is facing. Kelly had a slide. If you can jump back with the 7 financial planning questions. We also are going to provide some questions here, like for instance, can a life insurance company refuse to pay a death benefit if the person dies from an illness related to COVID-19? Boom, that's an amazing marketing email right there. You just ask the question and then you're there to answer it and solve it. So can life insurance, long-term care insurance, or disability insurance refuse to sell a policy if somebody's diagnosed with COVID-19? I don't know, have somebody answer that for you. Talk to wealth management, look at those 7 questions, the templates. What if business interruption insurance is massive right now? Will my business interruption cover me? Does my commercial policy cover COVID-19 for my business? If a government authority makes me close my business, does the civil authority additional coverage trigger coverage? Stuff like that about contingent business income, anything that you guys can think of with life insurance, business insurance, cybersecurity, annuities. How is variable or indexed annuities affecting the current marketplace? That third and the main meat of any email or script is asking a question that you know is top of mind, is a concern for your client, and then you answer it. And then you wrap up the email with how to get in touch with you, the easy way that you can be there. So that's just kind of the formula. And the appropriate, it's highly appropriate right now because your role as their agent is to help them mitigate risk. So acknowledge the weirdness of what's going on, reassure a client that you are there and can deliver still, address what the problem is. There's some other great examples that are very relevant for insurance agents right now. That is, like, will there be changes to policies and coverage and payment due dates due to COVID? You know, what's still going to be covered, what's not? What happens when there's a claim or not? Has there been any changes? You know, what's going to be affecting in their life? And then just be reassuring, as Kelly and Steve have mentioned. So what you can use with everything that was just shown to you, you can use Outlook, you can use Epic, any of the email sources that you have out there. Lisa at Wealth Management in a Box can also send all of this out for you guys, and if you're on the Fuse platform as well. So it doesn't matter what you use, we suggest you get out there as that risk management, as that crisis management, mitigate risk, reassure, you're there. You are, through their crisis management, helping them with tense situations. So now is the time more than ever to be in front of people. All right, so 5 minutes left. Wanted to leave that open for questions, comments. Kelly, Steve, anybody else to wrap?
But the only comment I have here is just to say, look, what we're going through as a country will end. All right, we will overcome all of these adversities with respect to the virus and also to the market. As Kelly alluded to before, this is quite different than 2008. There is money, there is capital, the economy was strong. But here's the thing, okay? When you're helping people out today, getting them through this storm, they are going to become advocates for you. They are going to let people know, their neighbor down the street, hey, go see Gary, go see Eric. Because when I needed help, they were there. These guys do things a hell of a lot different than anybody else. And trust me, people will not forget, and they will become advocates, and they will talk to their neighbors, their friends, and their families about the help that you provided during this crisis.
Kathy, any questions, anything that we need to answer or open up? If not, we can let everybody get back to doing what they're doing.
I don't see any questions. If anybody has any other questions, raise your hand. I didn't see any others come in. It looks like you guys did a really good job answering all of those questions if they did. But we're all here for you. So at this point, no, Kelly.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. Everybody, if you have any questions, you know how to reach out to us. If you can't find it, reach out to Kathy or Megan, and we'll get on the phone and we'll get you guys rolling.
Stay well.
Yeah, stay well.
Thank you. Yeah, stay safe and well, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Kelly, great job. Megan, and your whole team there, Kelly. Thank you all. We really appreciate your time and effort putting this on for everybody today. I did record today's session, so we'll be happy to share that with some additional material. So have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.